So today we're going to learn a little bit about how to get your dog to do different tricks with a pumpkin. So it's obviously going to be Halloween inspired tricks. So many of us probably buy pumpkins for decorations, or maybe because we want to use them for food, or maybe we have kids who like to cut them and make pumpkin lanterns, which is super great. But sometimes we might not actually get to do it, we forget about it, or maybe you buy pumpkins specifically just for doing this. But no matter what the reason is, here are some super cool pumpkin tricks that you can do with your dog. The first trick is to get your dog to just put their two front paws on top of the pumpkin. And it's super easy, it's nice and simple, and every dog can do this. So what you'll need is obviously a pumpkin and then some good treats. What I would do if you've never done this before, simply lure your dog a little bit over the pumpkin. If they accidentally step on it, praise them and give them a treat. Super, yeah, super, wow, okay. Yeah, super, super, super good, super. Yeah, super, okay. You can also shape it. So if you have a dog that likes to offer different things, simply place a pumpkin in front of them and see what they do, and then wait for some kind of paw action, okay? Okay. Super. Okay. Super. Okay. What you can also do, once your dog has learned how to put their two front feet on top of it, is to teach them to do the canine elephant. So basically keeping their two front paws on top of this and then walking around the pumpkin with the hind legs on the ground, okay? And the way you're going to teach the canine elephant on top of the pumpkin here is by starting just to get your dog up with the two front paws. Praise a couple of times for that, so your dog knows that this is actually what we're working with. And then if you've never done this before, then what you can do is first test a little bit if your dog is able to move. You can do that by walking in front of your dog. Yes, good. Like this. And try different sides to see which one your dog finds the easiest. Super. Super. And praise for every small step that they make, so you know it's right that they have to move the hind body. Yeah, I know you are right. Super good. Once you've found out which is your dog's preferred side, I would suggest you start working with that, and then you can always come back and do the other side later. But what you're gonna do is you're actually gonna lure your dog off a little bit, and then get your dogs to stand with their back towards you, lure them on top of the pumpkin, give them a treat, and remove your hand. Super good, super good. And because most dogs like to look at their owner, yeah, they're gonna turn around a little bit. It might just be a few tiny steps before they walk off the pumpkin, so you have to be quick at actually praising them. I know, praising them while they're on the pumpkin, okay? So I'll just show this once more. Okay. So lure your dog up. Super. Super. Remove your hand. Super. 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 Good. Okay. Just try again. Again, lower your dog up. Remove your hand. Super good. Praise for all the small steps. Super good. Okay. Lower your dog up. Remove your hand. Super. Super. Yeah. Yeah. Super. 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 Okay then. So. So. Super. So. Super. Another thing you can do with your dog is to teach them to lie their head on top of the pumpkin like this. So, yes, super. That's actually also quite simple. So start with your dog in a down position. Super. And then place the pumpkin in front of them, between their feet. Super. Super. There you go. Yes, there you go. And then have some treats right here on top of the pumpkin. And every time that the dog touches the pumpkin with the underside of their face, then you praise them and give them a treat. Yeah, I know. Okay. Okay. Super. Super. Super good. Super good. So, oops. Cheater. So. Super good. Super good. Super good. Good. Okay. So obviously remember that if you do have this bit on top of your pumpkin and it's too big, it might make it uncomfortable for the dog to offer to put its head down. So if your dog offers to put it on the side, pray for that. Otherwise, cut this off so it doesn't annoy the dog as much. Could also turn the pumpkin around if you want to. Might make it a little bit easier. So, super. Super. Okay. Should we get this from a different angle? Super. What you can also do is get your dog to put their hind legs on top of the pumpkin while their front legs are still on the ground. And if you haven't done it before, I suggest that you lure this a little bit if you want a quick result. Otherwise, a combination of luring and shaping is what I've found to be the best way to go. But it will look like this. Okay. Super. Whoopsie. There we go. Back up. Yes, super. Wow. Super. Yes. Okay. Back up. Super. Oh, try again. Go, super, super, wow, super, okay, super. So, if this is your first time, I would lure your dog front ways on top of it. So it might start with the front paws, then you lure it a little bit longer until the hind paws touch it. Yes, good. Good. And praise the Lord for that. Just so the dog knows that this is what we actually want. Yeah, this is the final step. Good. Okay. And then you're going to move a little bit further. Put your legs in a triangle shape where the pumpkin is sort of the final side of the pumpkin or of the triangle. And then you lower your dog all the way off the pumpkin. And then you actually just wait and wait your dog out to see if they offer to go backwards and touch it. Super, very nice. Oopsie. Wait. There you go. Yes, oopsie, okay. This is a very unstable pumpkin, huh? Yes, super, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, wow, super. Yeah. Dirty. Super. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Super. Oopsie. Try it. Yeah, super. Okay. What you can also do is teach your dog to do a nose touch on the pumpkin here, and it's actually quite fun, quite simple. What you do is you hold your pumpkin in one arm or in one hand, and then hold it out, remove your other hand, and as soon as the dog either looks at the pumpkin or sniffs it or maybe even goes over to sort of touch it, then you praise. Okay, so just wait it out if you haven't done it before. Super. See? Wow. Super. Did it? Super. Okay. Oopsie. Setty. Did it? Did it? Did it? Super. What you can also do is use the pumpkin as a prop that you want your dog to walk around. If you haven't done this before, I would suggest actually using a different prop, such as a pole you can put in the ground, because that makes it easier. But otherwise, if you have done it before or you just feel really much up for a challenge, you can definitely just use this. Because he is a dog parkour dog that loves to get on top of things. I'll just help him the first couple of times to figure out that I actually want him to walk around it and not on top of it. And I will use my arm for that. So I'll use my arm to sort of simulate a pole standing on the ground, just so he gets the idea, and then I'll be able to make him do it without my hand. So I'll place my hand like this first, just to simulate something that he can walk around of rather than on top of. What? Wow. What? 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 Super good. Now I'll try without my arm. Okay. Super. What? Wow, almost. What? Yeah. What? Super. What? Super, very nice. What? Good. Dirty. What? Yes. What? Suddenly. Wow. See that? What? Super good. Super good. Very nice. Otherwise, if you pretend that this is a pole on the ground, you might actually be able to do it without the pole and just the pumpkin, but let's assume it's a pole. And then you're gonna visualize yourself a watch sort of sitting on top of the pumpkin. So you have 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 and 3 o'clock, and so forth, all the way around the pumpkin. And then you're gonna come with your dog here, move towards the pumpkin. If the dog offers to move a little bit closer to the pole or the pumpkin, you're gonna throw a treat further along in time compared to where the dog is. So let's say if the dog comes up on this side, there may be at around 9 o'clock. Then you're gonna throw a treat at maybe 12 or 1 o'clock to encourage the dog to walk further along in the circle, okay? And then get your dog back again. Super, super. Super, get them back again. Super. Super. Sorry, I'm slow. Let's go back here. Upsy. Super. Treat? Yes. Super. Yeah. Super. 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 Oh. Can you hide from me? Yes. Super. Super. Yeah. Come here. Once, 50. Super. 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 Another trick that you can do with your dog and a pumpkin is to get them to place both their front feet on top of it and then do some kind of trick with their feet, with their front feet. It can either be paw shake or high five or a wave or something like that. The important thing is that they're just confident in keeping their two front paws on this. You might even be able to have them to sit. Super. Yeah. And then praise them a couple of times for that. Super good. And then try and ask for a different trick that they know really well. Super. 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 Okay. Get it. Super. Super. Ring it. Super. Ring it. Super. And then yes. And then yes. Ring it. Super. Okay. Super. 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 Dirty. Okay. Super. Super. Dirty. Okay. Super. You might find that you need to sort of support the pumpkin a little bit for some of these exercises, and that's completely fine. Just do that. Make sure that the dog is really comfortable with it and that you're not sort of subjecting yourself or your dog to any possible injuries. So just keep it fun, keep it safe, and then help your dog as much as possible. Okay? Bye.